maybe I want what you have.
Hundreds of years ago, prior to even the creation of the Guardians, Pitch Black ruled Earth in the shadows. This boogeyman manipulated, morphed, and blended into darkness, forever craving the destruction of pure dreams. Using his ability to know every individual's greatest fears, Pitch's nightmares proliferated across the minds of all of mankind, allowing him to grow in power. At the peak of the Dark Ages, before the Guardians were chosen, all people were submissive, influenced, and frightened by Pitch, as he had always desired. But why did he want to be feared? Where did these powers come from? How did he rise? Well, the rise of the Nightmare King is also the tragic fall of a father and hero. Hello, I'm Isaac from Wotso Videos, where we discuss nightmarish topics for nightmare-filled people. Just kidding, I focus on discussing fun topics for fun people and spreading magic, and to do that today, we're going to be breaking down Pitch Black's backstory. As always, if you'd like to learn more about Pitch or the Guardians after the video, I've provided all of the links to the movie, original storybooks, novels, and the resources I used in the description. When I first watched Rise of the Guardians, I was mainly going into it inquiring on everything to do with Jack Frost, since I had seen quite a few people shipping him with Elsa from Frozen. Although Jack's story was fascinating and compelling on its own, it felt mostly complete at the end of the movie, even though it definitely wasn't after reading up on him. Pitch's story, on the other hand, felt like it was just beginning to be discovered. Why does he take so much pleasure from others' pain? In a world where the Man in the Moon chooses individuals to possess magic, how would Pitch have received his dark powers? And what kind of relationship did he have with that unexplained being in the moon?
Don't look at me like that, old friend. You must have known this day would come.
I desired answers on the Nightmare King, and the original Guardians of Childhood stories by William Joyce had answers. The lore in this series is just mad. Pitch's backstory doesn't even begin on Earth. First, we have to go up to space. Long, long ago, during a blissful time known as the Golden Age, individuals from across space traveled between planets and stars in airships sailing on the Sea of Stars. At this time, the universe was governed by groups of celestial bodies led by loving families who focused on spreading imagination and fairness. These constellations were peaceful and happy until evil rose in the form of nightmare men, dream pirates, and the dreaded Fearlings. To defend the realm from this dark threat, the House of Lunoff, led by Tsar Lunar the 11th and his wife Serena Lunar, rallied the other constellations and governing families to protect the universe by forming a massive military force known as the Golden Armies. The leader of these noble armies was a being by the name of Cosmatos Pitchner. Cosmatos was an extremely powerful, ancient, and mysterious individual filled with strength, honor, and vigil. He was a skilled fighter and was deeply connected with magic. He was so powerful, in fact. Years later, Sandman recalled being unable to see Cosmatos' dream, for he was one of few creatures who could restrain the influence of this guardian. One of the only others who could resist Sandman was actually Cosmatos' daughter, Emily Jane, who would one day become Mother Nature. Cosmatos loved his family fiercely, a primary reason he was willing to pursue the Fearlings for the House of Lunoff and the universe. After constructing a massive lead prison on the farthermost regions of space, Cosmatos traveled to many worlds with the Golden Armies, allowing them to capture all of the evil beings and to free the world from their dark presence. For accomplishing this brave act, Cosmatos was proclaimed a hero of the universe, and to ensure his deed would not be undone, he volunteered to guard the prison planet with his life. I'm sure right now Cosmatos seems like a valiant person, but you remember what this video is actually about. He would not remain that way forever. For many years, he watched over the Fearlings and was forced to listen to their manipulative whispers and pleads. Cosmatos focused on his family to allow him to resist the Fearlings' guidance, but eventually, after focusing on his daughter for so long, the prisoners sensed his weakness. The evil beings imitated Emily Jane's voice and hypnotized Cosmatos to believe she was trapped with the Fearlings. After resisting the lies for a long duration of time, in a moment of weakness, Cosmatos attempted to release her from the prison by opening the gate. But of course, his daughter was not there. In that moment, the hero of the Golden Armies was faced with thousands of fearlings from across the universe who flew into his body, possessed him, and devolved his good nature. In that moment, Cosmatos was destroyed, for the evil fearlings had transformed him into pitch. This fate for Cosmatos is so tragic because he gave so much to the universe. He didn't make a choice to become evil, it was embedded into him. The fearling-infected Pitch now possessed a twisted heart, filled with a desire to torment, cause misery, and end the Golden Age. Pitch began plundering planets, extinguishing stars, and by utilizing the fear within every heart, Pitch began turning dreams into nightmares. He vanquished the holy world of lunar llamas and defeated the rare, mysterious, and incredibly powerful time-traveling pukas, which were pretty much just like little rabbits. He was dismantling the peace and prosperity of the Golden Age, leaving only misery and despair in his wake. What Pitch craved the most out of anything, though, was the dreams of children, for those dreams were the purest. But after corrupting children's dreams across the universe, and even transforming some of them into fearlings, he set a new goal. Pitch decided he would corrupt the infant Lunoff prince, the child of Tsar and Serena Lunar. So the child could become something horrible. The honorable and caring house of Lunoff, who had empowered Pitch in his life as a hero, was being pursued by the Nightmare King, for he desired to turn the baby into a prince of nightmares. This is just so crazy because the poor royal family had trusted that man so heavily in the past. They knew he was a caring father, and now he was none of that. The Lunanoff parents set their family on course towards Earth, accompanied by an oath-bound guardian named Nightlight, in hopes of hiding their child from Pitch. But when the Nightmare King tracks them down, they decide to face him themselves. During the battle, the tiny prince cries as his parents are captured and defeated, but when Nightlight catches a tear and repeats his oath to the child, the tear transforms into a diamond dagger. To defend the baby he swore to protect, Nightlight charges into battle and stabs Pitch in the heart with the diamond dagger, which causes a massive explosion. The Lunanoff parents perish in the explosion. Nightlight became ensnared in Pitch's cold heart, Pitch vanished, and the prince landed on a moon orbiting Earth. For centuries, Pitch remained dormant and imprisoned in a cave on Earth with the diamond dagger still in his heart. Meanwhile, the prince on the moon grew in strength, learned magic, and decided to continue his parents' legacy. He would protect the hopes and dreams of the universe, especially on Earth, as they had once done. That prince became the Man in the Moon, the first guardian of children's dreams. Using his magic, the Man in the Moon sent down a beam of light that peeked into the cave to free Nightlight from Pitch's heart. Although he did free Nightlight successfully, he accidentally also awoke the Nightmare King. And oh man, the Nightmare King was mad. With Pitch awake and seeking vengeance against those who had imprisoned him, he swore to destroy what the Man in the Moon longed to protect. He was determined to annihilate the dreams of children on Earth and spread his nightmares. For a time, now referred to as the Dark Ages, Pitch had full reign over fear across the globe. He was everything a child feared, and he thrived off of it, allowing him to possess unthinkable strength, but that wouldn't last forever. The Man in the Moon had a plan to suppress Pitch again. Of course, he was going to create the Guardians.
But then the Man in the Moon chose you to replace my fear with your wonder and light.
Although the Guardian's presence was weakening Pitch due to the individual spreading hope throughout the world, he still resisted the change of order. Pitch targeted the purest children, attacked a village created for dreamers that was created by the ancient wizard Ulbrich Shalazar, held Nightlight and other children ransom for a magic ancient text, built a base in the Earth's core, and amassed an army of fearlings. But each attempt to resist the Guardians failed. Pitch continues his fight against the Guardians by attacking Punjam Hailu, better known as Tooth's Palace. A battle erupts, but Pitch is halted by a Guardian he had obsessed over corrupting in the past. The Guardian of Storytelling, Catherine. Once Catherine subdues him, Pitch's daughter Emily Jane, now Mother Nature, transports him to her domain, condemning his actions. She is angry he abandoned her, and feels he has replaced her with his obsession with Catherine and the Guardians. Mother Nature explains she will not get involved in either side of the fight, and then leaves him defeated. Pitch was no longer the unstoppable entity he once was. Children were overcoming their fears as they became more optimistic. Slowly, they ceased to believe in Pitch until the boogeyman no longer seemed like an actual being, but a simple bit of imagination. He was once such a strong and feared entity, but at that time, he was being passed right through, and for the first time, Pitch felt powerless, forgotten, and without meaning. After all of his defeats, Pitch retreats to an ancient palace outside of Venice, Italy, that had sunk beneath the ocean floor. He made this hidden place his home and expanded its entrances to allow him to travel across the world through it, giving him an adequate space to hide patiently, for he knew he could not win against the Guardians at that time. Over many years, he hid in the shadows, watching, waiting, and training for his time to strike the hopes and dreams of children to create a dark age again.
Look familiar, Sandman. Took me a while to perfect this little trick, turning dreams into nightmares.
Long, long ago, Pitch Black was a mysterious, strange, and powerful celestial being commanding the golden armies of a golden age in the universe, but after being consumed by fearlings, his mind, soul, and strength sadly fell to darkness. He contained a never-ending thirst for nightmares, leading him to corrupt dreams for children everywhere, but when he was defeated and imprisoned by a servant of the Man in the Moon, Pitch swore to destroy everything that mattered to him. Even with the rise of the Guardians and the decrease of his power, Pitch was still willing to wait for his time to instill fear on the world and force people to believe in him. And eventually, that time did come. With the learned power to manipulate Sandman's dream sand, and with his power stored from his long wait away from the world, he was ready to take his vengeance on the Man in the Moon and confront the Guardians once more.
Can it be?
Rise of the Guardians just brings on so many questions for me still. I would love to talk about the full backstory of the Man in the Moon, fully explain what happened to Pitch Black's daughter, why Jack Frost is so powerful, and how Sandman was revived. If you'd like to see more Rise of the Guardians videos by me, or you have an idea you'd like me to discuss, make sure to leave the suggestion in the comment section, and check out my polls most weekends on my channel's community tab. I love being able to empower all of you to help shape the content you see on Wotso videos, and I'm able to do that in part because of my patrons. On Patreon, you can donate monthly to the channel, which provides you with rewards like access to Patreon-only live streams, your name in every video, and access to the Wotso Discord server. We have a lot of fun on the Discord server especially. Just last weekend, we hopped onto the audio chat and just talked about movies and life for a few hours. Disney will always be a main focus on the channel, but the donations to Patreon allow me to experiment with discussing fun topics on other fun movies too, while continuing to increase the quality of all of my videos. Links to my Patreon, like always, will be in the description. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and have a magical day.